99 knitted knick-knack. See, that's what I give it y'all. Do some slick ass shit. I didn't fucked up. It was bound to happen. I wasn't gonna be able to do this 26 times and it wasn't gonna happen. I'm not even saying take this shit out. Okay. 99 knitted knick-knacks were nicked by 99 knitted knick-knack knickers. And that's knickers. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Whatever We Want podcast. I am one of your hosts. I go by the name of Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Man, my phone went off. That was funny. I go by the name of Super Jazz, SJ, JT, Jazz, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And I am always joined by the other host of the show. Sir, who are you?
You guys know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Veo Grande, on YouTube. Occasionally, ever so rarely, referred to as Pete on this show. But yeah, I'm here as well.
Anyway, I'm gonna keep the middle finger in my. Not gonna pull it out for right now. But yes, as I said, everybody, this is the Whatever We Want podcast, where we do just that. We talk about whatever we want. We do not lead this conversation. This conversation leads us, and we let these chips fall where they may.
Every Wednesday. That is correct. Well, Jazz.
Okay.
I'll
Yes.
go ahead and start this off.
Oh shit.
Because it'll be the last one of these at least for like a couple months or two in this regard. We gotta
know,
have the sports update.
I know what you're talking about.
Pains me to say it, not as much as it would have, not as much as it could have, but ever so slightly. It pains me to say congratulations to the Denver Nuggets, the champions of the NBA. I don't really hate the players themselves, your Jokic's and stuff. They didn't control over what team they went to. Jokic played great. The Heat did not. The Heat lost in 5. They did better than the Lakers. True. The Lakers got swept. But yeah, it's okay though. The Heat did their job. They beat the Celtics. It was fine.
Oh.
The Heat did their job. They beat the Celtics. I did not want Celtics Nuggets finals. So that was perfect.
I'm not even gonna go into it. That's so funny. Like you just this vitriolic hate from like the depths of your fucking balls as to how much you hate this.
For the Celtics. I just don't like them.
Well, if I was to go to another team in that vicinity,
I said for the Celtics.
From the depths of your fucking balls, you hate them with every fucking fiber of your motherfucking being, from the tips of your motherfucking big toe all the way to the top of your fucking hair follicles.
And the sky is blue. These are just known facts.
Which is why I said I ain't gonna go into it, because yes, that was like at rehearsal tonight. One of my castmates joking, but she's like, oh, I'm not an actor, because she was trying to pretend like, she didn't know what she was doing, which clearly she does. But she was like, oh, I'm not an actor, blah, blah. And I was like, and I'm not 5'7". We telling any more lies? Like, that's all right. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
But no, congratulations to the Nuggets. They won. Jokic got the MVP, right, as people thought he would. And then immediately was trying to go home because he doesn't really care about anything aside from hooping, and then going back to Serbia and chilling with his horse and his brothers. And I'm not exaggerating and being stereotypical when I say chilling with his horse. He's had pictures with it. He likes his horse. He's got like a farm. He's a simple Serbian man that just so happens to be really, really good at basketball. At
the end of the day, you can't blame the dude. The dude like, yeah, I won the game. Some people don't care about the celebrity that comes with fame. Some people are just like, I want to play this shit on a high level against all the other people who are playing on a high level. All the extra shit that comes with it, as far as like, my name, and you selling my jerseys and all
There's
this
a
and that. And
parade in my city, yeah.
what's that from?
Ja Morant. You've heard of that guy, right?
Well, I mean,
Ja Warrant, as some people
is
have called him.
that what people are saying? Oh, God. But what I was saying was,
it's another Ja Wick. My bad, Ja Wick.
but basically what I was saying, and then we can go there, was just not everybody is like, yo, I want to be super famous. Some people is like, I just want to do shit at a high level and then get out my face. So, but yeah, I mean, we could talk about a little bit about Mr. Moran if you wanted to. Shit, you wanted to brought his name up.
He's about the celebrity, and he's about
the celebrity. He is about the celebrity,
and he's about making the not smart decisions. I understand. Yeah, technically, a lot of states it's fine to have a gun, but this isn't really about did he break the law having a gun. It's about the NBA doesn't want their players holding guns up on camera. and he works for the NBA. If your job doesn't want you to smoke, if your job drugs test and they don't want you to, be at work high, and you come in smelling like reefer, well, they're probably gonna fire you because
at the end of the day,
that regardless of whether or not we live in Colorado and it's legal, you ain't supposed to do it here.
At the end of the day, if you work a job and they tell your ass no sugar and you get caught with a Twinkie, as dumb as it may be, there you go. Like, that's really what that is.
Didn't they like kind of give you a slap on the wrist? Because I think I saw
that's
Gilbert,
what makes it
I
bad.
saw Gilbert Arenas or somebody be like, dude, in the back of the day he gets caught that first time there. What the hell?
What? Oh, you can hear somebody's calling. You get my phone vibrate.
Like, whoa.
I'm using a built-in mic on my computer, and I have my phone sitting on my laptop, okay. and of course, I didn't turn off the vibrate, but I turned off the ringer for the sake of the show. So it's sitting over the built-in mic, and even.
Yeah,
I can't hear it, but you probably heard over Zoom. That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah.
You said what the hell?
I don't remember. Oh yeah. But and then they try to come out like 3 weeks later to be like, "Oh, their most recent gun was a toy, man." I don't care, motherfucker. They say stop. Don't. I got a gun in the car. I don't care if it's a toy. Remember when I did this? Wait a couple years before you try to meme yourself with a gun. Wait till you're out of the NBA to be like, hey guys, remember what I got suspended for a gun? Wow, funny times. Not a month later after they put a slap on the wrist of, we'll let your team discipline you. They said 8 games, sure, that's fine. And then next thing you know, boy, the hammer that is rumored to come down will be fierce. It will be fierce. But
I don't know, man.
But just don't break the rules. Like if it wasn't against the NBA's rules to do it, I don't care.
That's really what it is. It's like not to straight shit on nobody, but it really is just like, come on, man. That's really all it is. Come on, man. Like, yeah. Especially like you said, they give you a slap on the wrist and you did it again. It's like, come on, dog. But I mean, at the end of the day, not dwelling on all of that. Did you watch the game? Like the last decided.
I saw the ending of it.
Was it all that it should have been for it to be the final of the finals?
No. That game.
I was about to say, by the way you sounded before you answered that question.
Yeah, the Nuggets pretty much were winning the whole thing, despite the fact that the refs going out of their way to try and give it to the Heat. Just the most blatant missing of foul calls or calling or phantom foul calls and shit like that. And it didn't ended up not mattering because as much as you want to try to rig it with the referee calls, if they ain't putting the ball in the basket, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yep. That's really what it is. At the end of the day, like, and we talked about this a little bit on, like, some recent episodes, but you can rig sports or attempt to rig sports because, like you said, refs could cheat, people could purposely miss shit, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, sports is like, out of any, at least off the top of my head, any mainstream level of entertainment, like whatever, like that, sports is the only thing that is strictly quantifiable. You know what I mean? Because it's just like you can't say that I didn't take the stick and hit the puck into the goal.
Yeah.
You can't, like, it clearly stick hit puck in goal. Like, clearly. Like, there's no way that me did not bounce ball and then go swish in net. Like, you can't. So, because you can fake other shit, but you can't be like,
Speaking of hitting a puck into a net, much like their city mates, the Florida Panthers, well, maybe not city, I'll say state mates, the Florida Panthers in the hockey.
Florida Panthers?
Yeah, Florida Panthers. They're a hockey team. They made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, also as an 8th seed. No, hockey Panthers are Florida. Football Panthers Carolina.
No, I heard you. I just said I only know Carolina. Yeah. I didn't know hockey had Panthers.
The hockey Panthers are that. I kind of wish the Solar Bears were an NHL team. It's like a polar bear with sunglasses. The Florida Solar Bears.
What league?
Bears. Like some minor league hockey thing. It's like a Florida
the Solar
Bears. Thing. Yeah, the Solar Bears.
Like they took polar bear, but they said, "Bitch, we gonna make this shit tropical."
Because it's the Sunshine State.
That is hilarious. Yeah, that is fucking beautiful.
Polar bear with sunglasses playing hockey for like the little like logo. Fucking Solar
Bears.
Because
you know good and damn well, if a polar bear was in Florida, he would fucking die. He would die. That motherfucker, his fur would be all matted because it would be like all matted from his like sweat.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker would be walking around. Remember SpongeBob? Episode of Sponge. Right. But remember the episode of SpongeBob when they went in Sandy's treehouse and they didn't have water for so long, and he was like, "Water!" That's how that fucking polar bear would be, bro. Anyway.
Yeah. But no, they made the Florida Panthers, I think, as a low-seeded team, also made it to the finals of their sport. Also upsetting a highly ranked Boston team on the way. Hilarious. But
that's the Bruins.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Florida Panthers, much like the Heat, got humiliated in the finals, and whatever NHL hockey team they were going against won. I watched one of those games just to give it a shot. Or not watched, I tuned in to. I didn't watch the whole game. I still have only watched one NHL game from start to finish. But I tuned in and they were down like 5-0 in one of those games. I was like, Jesus Christ. And in hockey, that's bad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's like
hockey and
soccer.
Hockey. I was just about to say hockey and soccer. I was just about to say that those are two games where it's low scoring, because soccer. First of all, I think soccer is like the only like major sport and everybody else calls it football except our fucking backwards asses.
And
But soccer
Britain, who
is,
came up with it anyway.
I mean, we're Britain's like fucking
They still came up with it.
emancipated.
No. People like
No,
to just blame us for coming up with soccer. Them motherfuckers came up with the damn sport and called it that them damn selves. And then when the rest of the
but
world was like football and they didn't have the other forms of football that made it necessary to call it soccer, they were like, oh yeah, that's football. That's I don't know what the Americans are doing.
I mean, okay, Britain,
No,
us,
it's not quite
whoever.
as malicious the way it says it, but I'm just saying.
I know. But what I was gonna say was Britain, us, whoever, but it makes sense. Baseball, there's several bases that you touch, and then a ball. Basketball, there's a basket and a ball. Football, because you hit it with your feet. It's like, so I get
But
what
there
it.
were other versions of it. So there was rugby foot. Apparently, now this is me looking online and stuff. It ain't like I fucking am a historian. But one day, 'cause
Fucking
I
went to
was
like
what? Where did
went to
this
college
term?
and
I'm
shit.
like, where did the term soccer come from? As I looked it up, and it was initially came up over there because they were trying to find because it was an easier way of differentiating between rugby football and association football. Now, eventually, the one you used with your foot more, that's footy. The other one just became rugby. But at first, it was like soccer, like because the SOC from association, not soccer or rugby. The British. Tate. I mean, we got random shit over here. Taters and maters ain't no fucking R and potatoes and tomatoes, but we go like, well, not all of us, but you know what I mean.
I was about to say that's some specific region shit. It's not like
Well, it
everybody.
probably was a specific region of fucking England that said it.
Don't choke
Like
on your
those
motherfucking spit trying to make a dumbass point. It's probably
The bottom
motherfucker.
line is,
Had
it's
to
not a
fuck with you, had to
dumbass
fuck with
point. Go look it up. But then we had the goddamn gridiron football over here. But as certain ones became more and more popular, there's no need to differentiate between like others and stuff like that. Like over there, rugby, you know, became more of its own thing. I'd say niche compared to what the global phenomenon that association football became, where in their
Yeah,
minds, there's no point in calling rugby football. Just call that rugby. We got the football over here, and then
because you can tell you can tell that what's the name American football has a lot of like roots in rugby. Exactly. Just like you can tell baseball, there's a lot of it's rooted in cricket.
yeah, and there you
Shit like
go.
that.
The gridiron football highly based a lot in rugby football, but we play it on gridiron and do all this other shit and make it sound a lot more violent, and then make it more violent somehow, despite wearing armor. You would think that.
Depending on who you ask, and I haven't watched nowhere near enough rugby to be honest. I've hardly seen fucking more than just a few seconds of any fucking rugby here or there, whatever. But depending on who you ask and shit like that, people say that rugby is much, much, much more tougher.
Well, here's the thing. They say it primarily because they don't wear fucking uniforms. and shit.
Pads, they wear no
Now,
pads here.
While that's true, they also are not the same size with the extra armor. They'll get tackled and get like bruised up, but they're not gonna get injured nearly as often as they would in the NFL and stuff, or as they do in the NFL, especially modern day, where every year the average player is just bulkier and bulkier, and they're like, I'm covered. And primarily because someone like brought it to me where they were like, well, yeah, we have the suits of armor for our thing. But rather than that make it safer, that just makes the players be like, I'm covered in armor, I'm gonna run even harder. So
I was gonna make that point if you
God.
didn't. Yep.
And remember, Concussion, that movie, it wasn't necessarily the direct blows to the head. that make all the concussions and stuff. If anything, it's the rattling around your brain is doing in your skull in the helmet that's doing it. Like the helmets can like make like incidental contact, but
It's
what was
supposed to
it?
be your brain moves
Yeah,
your brain moves separate from the
yeah.
rest of
He's
your skull
like,
and like bangs into your skull or some shit.
yeah. He
So,
had like a jar. He's like, your brain in a jar. It normally, it's floating around in liquid, and it's fine. Everything's fine. People think your brain's perfectly fixed, but it's just kind of floating in liquid. Now, what happens if I do this? And just start shaking it.
did you wait? Okay, you fucking saw Concussion
Yeah. Saw it with the
when
family.
it, around
In
the time it came
theaters.
out?
In theaters.
Around the time it came out?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, in theaters. In theaters.
Brother-in-law swore off football for a while after watching that. Because he didn't like the way the corporation was treating the players.
I'm not saying that the point of that movie and that movie in and of itself is not important, but based off of the trailer, and this was way before the controversy, so I'm not even saying that. Based off the trailer, that movie looked bad.
I
It just
didn't
looked
want to
bad.
see it. I wouldn't have saw it, but I was with the family. And
Me
so
and
me and the family ended up watching it.
me and two of my good friends, we used to make fun of that motherfucking trailer. Headed tooth. Headed tooth. That was where fucking Oscar So White came from. It wasn't because, and again, we don't have to go into it, but it wasn't because fucking Will and Jada was like, oh man, the Oscars, an institution that has been fucking so white for goddamn ever. It wasn't that they were like, man, the Oscars is right. It was because Will Smith gave a performance that he put a lot of fucking time into and really, really, really tried for, and he didn't get nominated. So they started, I mean, that's how I took it. They started that to be like, yo, boycott the Oscars as like a sense of boycott the Oscars for this reason. But you could tell they felt the way. And
Fair enough.
as an actor, obviously nowhere near on that fucking level. Like nowhere near, yeah.
Yeah.
But it is one of them things. Just when you do artistic shit, period. Sometimes it is like when you feel slighted because it's like you there's a lot of work that people do see when it comes to the arts, but there's a lot of shit that you do by yourself that people don't see.
Yep.
And then depending on what's up, you do more work by yourself than you do that is seen. So when you get out there and you feel like you're not getting your just due for it, and I'm not even just talking about Will, I'm talking about period, you do kind of feel like, damn. And then, depending on how it could manifest itself in you either just kind of feeling bad or it could manifest itself in you feeling upset. Feeling like angry. So I to an extent I get it. Because like I said, there's a lot of work that people don't see. People see the performance, people see whatever nuances you might put in the character and all that shit. People see all of that, like you hitting your mark, everything, but people don't see how long it took for you to learn your lines. People don't see all the times that you probably said your lines different ways. They don't see all the rehearsals that you did. They don't see the research you did so you could, mesh with the character. If it's a real person, they don't see that you might have talked to the person and whatever. They don't see the times where you and your scene partner went and spent, times running your lines, away from everybody to make sure y'all had them down, or time you spent to build up chemistry, all that shit. So when you finally get there, you're like, hey, what? Y'all motherfuckers ain't you go give me a handshake, bitch? Oh. Not saying I agree, but I can see it. But to bring it back around, no, that movie didn't look. It didn't look. It didn't look like.
You going off so hard for something that you said didn't even look like a performance worthy of the Oscar.
But I mean, I'm judging a book in a sense. I'm judging a book by its cover. I haven't seen it. I mean, did you think that it was a good movie?
I mean, I wasn't interested in the movie to begin with. I'm not trying to not watch football. I didn't know why the others were trying to watch the movie so much and why they were looking so forward to it. Probably just because Will Smith was in it and we gotta support black actors type deal. Uh, and he's doing a serious topic, concussions in football. I'm like, which very serious topic, and football does have a high risk, if not guarantee, of concussions. I said it. That said, it had been news for a minute when the movie came out, so I was like, what message are we trying to spread? Are we just trying to, like, why would you watch this unless you're just looking for an excuse to stop watching football, in which case, just stop watching football. You don't need to watch the movie to be like, oh man, they let these players get concussions. I'm gonna stop watching football. Like, just, you knew that was happening. Football's like, I don't think anyone's ever thought football was a safe sport. It's not. It's just not.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought about playing it one time. I'm so happy that I am as injury prone as I am. Or not injury prone, but I am as clumsy as I am. Like, I get hurt a lot. I don't really get injured. Not, knock on wood and all that. But over my life, that was the case. But I got hurt in a wrestling camp, and it just put stuff into perspective for me because I was trying to be a running back in high school.
I used to want to kind of be a running back a long time ago when I was younger.
And my reasoning was just because it's hard to fuck up, is what I thought. I was like, well, okay.
Oh, because you're not dropping passes, you mean?
Quarterback, yeah, you gotta accurately throw the ball while dodging everybody. And if you miss that throw, damn, that's on you. Receiver, oh, you better catch that shit every time. I can't throw or catch all that well. I was still under the impression that I had to be big to play defense at all, but that's more just defensive line. Like cornerbacks and stuff existed, but I didn't know that much about football. I just knew the Rams had recently won a Super Bowl.
And tight ends don't have to be huge.
They don't, but that's generally the point.
Well, and linebackers aren't necessarily huge either. That's what that's what it is. Cornerbacks aren't necessarily huge.
To be fair,
linebackers aren't, and tight ends are kind of dependent. Anyway,
but I ended up being short anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. Because I'm only like 5'9".
I was about to say, you taller than me.
Yeah, but we're both short.
You're like average height for a guy. 5'9",
6 foot.
No, it's not.
Yes.
Well, 6 foot is average height, but average height for a dude starts at like 5'10", I think, which means you're like 1 inch under there.
Fair.
5'7" is like I'm not so short to where it's like, damn, you short as shit, but I am short.
Yeah, either way, I'm definitely too short for sport. But my thought process back then was I can grab a ball and run forward. That's hard to mess up, is what I was thinking. So I was like, yeah, I'll do running back. That sounds fun, but that shows just how little I had studied the sport. Running back gets hit more than anybody.
I was gonna say, you got a target on your back if you do that shit. Big ass target. You are the fucking like crash test dummy with all these fucking human cars coming to fucking crash into your ass. That's what that is. Because anybody gets tackled
too. Second your ass gets 27. Oh, he's too old for the position. What? Running backs are a dime a dozen. That's especially nowadays. That's the narrative they push. I don't agree, but there's been a couple running backs this offseason. Like, oh, nobody's gonna want him. He's 27 now. He's old for the running back position. The fuck?
I'm not even just saying that because I'm over 30, but that don't sound that old.
It ain't. In the grand scheme of things, it ain't. But with a quarterback, of course, 27 doesn't sound old. They play until they're 45.
They or him.
I mean, they just getting older and older. The next one's gonna play till like 47, because
Bruh, if anybody is on the fucking field at 47,
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was a kicker once that got damn near that far, if not that far. The kickers could go the longest because they just come out and, you know,
right.
19 times out of 20 they don't get hit. So, yay! But at the same time, you want to talk a thankless position. That is the most "what have you done for me lately" of everything. You can coast on a couple good seasons as a running back, even if you do start getting "quote unquote" devalued. Kicker, you are only as good as your last kick.
It's basically you're either the fucking like hero and we love you. Oh my god, this is the most perfect human ever. Or
And
you're
then we
scum of the
erase you from
fucking
history
earth.
as time goes on to give credit to other people on the team.
Or you're scum of the earth. You're the gum under the bottom of my motherfucking shoe. I fucking hate you. Like, you know, I'm gonna piss on your corpse. You know, type of shit. Uh, let's see. The oldest NFL player ever was George Blanda. He played until he reached 48.
What position?
Blanda was a dual threat playing quarterback and kicker at the same time.
Old school.
The Oakland Raiders legend was one of the most unique players that the NFL has ever seen. What the fuck? At the same time. So that motherfucker, he would fucking march down the field his damn self, then get into position, and then probably bring out like the second string quarterback to fucking hike the shit to himself. Like, what the fuck?
There you go. Quarterbacks and kickers play until their mid to late 40s.
And then the oldest player was both. Said that. Holy shit. Quarterbacks and kickers play there, and then the oldest was both. Damn. You got that one, Pete. You got that one. That's, yeah. He played 26 seasons. Good God.
Jesus.
Which would mean that if he was 48, then
22?
22? Yeah, fuck. So this motherfucker started at 22 and finished it. Damn. Started his career with the Chicago Bears in 49, and he finally called it quits after going to the AFC Championship game with the Oakland Raiders in 75. Like, he didn't do pretty bad. He threw for 26,920 yards as a quarterback and made 335 field goals.
Huh. He's got some good
stats.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've heard
on both sides.
I've heard the name Blanda. I just forgot what he was. But I have heard the name at least, and that's why. Man played forever.
They said that he was good at clutch throws and field goals. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 81, nearly 5 decades after his retirement. Blanda still owns the record for being the oldest NFL player of all time. Ain't nobody gonna beat that shit. Because don't get me wrong, it's possible that, but to beat that shit, you got to be 49, bro. You if you're 50 on the fucking field, sit your ass there. I'm sorry, like.
I don't know. Terrell Owens was trying to come back a couple years ago. His ass was
well,
up there.
What's crazier? Is it crazier to play straight through, or to play a substantial career, leave for a little bit, then try to come back?
What's crazier is the latter.
Like, play a substantial career, leave and then try to come back.
Anytime you leave and come back, unless you're Michael Jordan, and even then, he didn't get immediate success the year he got back, and he was only
He wasn't
gone,
going
like,
for
one
super
year,
long either.
and he left
Yeah.
in like the middle of his prime. Like, there's reasons, but I still gotta use him for the pinky outs. But usually it's worse because, like, you're like when people who take too long off of wrestling and they come back and they're a bit worried early on, your body's not as like calloused and used to the rigors of a whole season and stuff.
You fall out of conditioning and then you have to get back into the conditioning. And
Yeah.
even if you train away and get yourself back, it's not the same as doing it.
Exactly, and then if you've been doing it like for years and years, your body is
That's a good
still
point.
more used to the heavy regimen of the off season and stuff. That cycle going through each year. It's not like, hey, I had a couple of years off, and now I'm gonna try to do it. And I'm older, where my workouts take longer for me to warm up in the morning because I haven't been doing those. So...
Your joints aren't as good as they used to be. Your metabolism is slower. It's harder to put on muscle because that's just what happens when you age. Yeah. But yeah, like wrestling, you hear a lot of wrestlers say that when they stopped wrestling, when they were like wrestling, because it's a lifestyle with the travel, with the constant working out, constantly, being hurt because of the slams and all that shit. And then they say that when they finally do stop, you hear a lot of wrestlers say on podcasts and interviews and shit, like, I don't know how I did that. Like a lot of them say, I don't know how I did that. So yeah, no, that's a good point. And then to get back into that shit, no, that's a good point. To have a substantial career, step away, then try to step back, right? Because you have to step back into the conditioning. And then this isn't necessarily like, this isn't what your body does per se, but also you have to step back into hopefully getting your conditioning back up. But then depending on your popularity, you're also competing to match, if not surpass, what everybody remembered you as. So that's a whole nother layer.
Yeah.
Like if you were, superstar status.
Yeah. If
you step away
if your ego is big enough to come out of retirement, it's probably pretty fragile too. And I don't mean that as in every single bad play you're going to be like beating yourself up for weeks, but you're going to want to be coming back and reminding them of who you is. You ain't trying to come back and look terrible.
And like if you were like A-list status and you come back and let's say you're doing decent, you're doing like above decent, like you're doing pretty goddamn motherfucking good, but you're not A-list. You are competing against what we remembered you as, especially because we didn't see you, so we really want to see you do, good if not better. And sometimes unfairly, and I mean everybody's like the audience is just like that. Sometimes unfairly, and I'm not exempting myself from it. But we hold people to too high of a motherfucking standard, and yeah, and then sometimes depending on how you look at it, and it's just like
with you.
Yeah. And it's just like, come on, man. And it's like, well, if so-and-so did it, y'all be, jumping up and down and turning flips. It's like, yeah, but you're supposed to be better than them. It's like, bitch, I took 7 years off, 10 years off, 15 years off. And it's like, and? Because you're you.
Him. You him, right? You're supposed to be the best. Fucking do it.
So that's another layer on top of this shit.
Speaking of people, go ahead.
I was just gonna say you got the physicality of it, but then you also have the like perception and the mental, like weighing on your mental also. What are you gonna say?
Speaking of people who like to be like, yeah, when you do the standards, Skip Bayless lost his broadcast partner, Shannon Sharp, as of the timing of filming this, is no longer on First Take. Not First Take, Undisputed. He showed up on First Take once back in the day, but he was the Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. It is now just whatever the show's gonna be called. I guess probably still Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Skip Bayless alone or some shit. But
Skip needs he needs a counterpart because it's almost like even though it's just a talk show, a debate show, he needs to be somebody's foil.
Yeah,
That's what he does.
I agree.
So yeah, yeah. So I'll see. We'll see what they do. But Skip Bayless by himself. Not saying that he's not good at what he does, but his strength is I pick the opposing side and I fucking play. I advocate the fuck out the damn devil, you know, and I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna argue all the shit that everybody wants to argue, and I'm gonna play this role. Like that's what he does, and he does it good. So yeah, they'll find somebody though.
Oh yeah. I just hope they find someone that's like you said, a foil to Skip. Because if it's just someone up there agreeing with him for the whole time, it's just gonna.
The whole point of the show is, and I've said this before, and I don't watch it as much as you and a lot of other people do. But the whole point of the show is that there has to be some level of disagreement because that makes it fun to watch.
Yeah.
The amount of people that fucking probably have a good time fucking whenever Skip says what he says, being like, man, fuck you. What the hell? Yeah. People probably love that. That's what makes it fun. So if they both sit up here and they say, I think LeBron James is, one of the best basketball players ever. I agree.
Why are we here?
They're right. They're like, that's not fun to watch. So yeah, no, of course they need something. I mean, shit. I couldn't even think of nobody to even fucking like throw out. I mean, sports better than me anyway, but shit. He's not at the end of his career, but I was thinking of athletes that are actually really well spoken and good on camera. And what's his name? Travis Kelce. He played for the Chiefs. Is that his name? That dude. I remember me, Ibn, shout out to Big Bro, and my dad were watching the Super Bowl, and me and my dad were both talking about how well spoken and how well Kelce looked good on camera. Mahomes and Kelce, but Kelce really, man, it was like, yo, shit. Travis Kelce did he hosted SNL.
Yeah.
So shit, yeah, no. I was just thinking but like I said, he's not at the end of his career anyway. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, for that show, you don't need it, but usually they have a black dude opposing Skip. So
yeah.
I'll just be as silly. Don't read into that. I'll just be as silly.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
We do. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I wonder what's Shannon Sharp's gonna move on to. I know he's got his own little podcast and stuff, but I'm just curious on what's gonna happen there. Let's see what else is going on. Street Fighter 6 came out.
What did I say a few weeks ago? What I say a few weeks ago is about damn time.
About damn time.
Because Street Fighter 5 was being fucking, it was years.
I mean,
Street Fighter 5, 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 Street Fighter 5.
It was about the same amount of time 4 was out.
Okay, well, fucking Capcom quit that shit.
Same amount of time that 3 was out.
Capcom quit that shit. Capcom quit that shit.
Yeah, I mean, Tekken 7 was out before Street Fighter 5.
Namco quit that shit.
Still isn't out.
It's Namco, right? Namco quit that shit.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Virtua Fighter 5 has been out for like a decade and a half.
Is anybody playing Virtua Fighter like that before Japan. I even try to think of what company make this shit? Like
Japan.
Ain't nobody checking for Virtua Fighter that hard. I'm not gonna give you Virtua Fighter. Ain't nobody checking for Virtua. Ain't nobody checking for Virtua Fighter like that.
Yeah, the people
so I can't get it. Not that hard, not like that, not like fucking Street Fighter and Tekken.
It's a Virtua Fighter, man. It's a legend.
It is a legend. This is true. I said that unintentionally rhymed. It's a legend. Outlives Tekken.
Yeah. Harada loved playing Virtual Fighter so much he made Tekken. Virtual Fighter's got cool characters. You got your Jackie Bryant, okay? You got Akira. You got Wolf. Wolf can F5 people.
I remember used to love playing Wolf. I remember that when I was younger.
You got Jeffrey McWild, the black guy. I win.
I remember the game, but not that.
And,
not that.
yeah, you got a lot of cool characters. It's Virtual Fighter. More people know Jackie Bryant than know fucking. Let's see.
What lie you gonna
Kai
tell?
Kisuke.
From
Exactly.
no, from what?
Guilty Gear.
Because if it ain't Street Fighter and it ain't Tekken, then what is the relevance to the conversation?
The fact of the matter is, it's been around forever.
Because ain't nobody.
You can't name 20 Tekken characters.
What? That's unfair as fuck. Nina, Anna, Julia,
You should be
Puma.
able to name. What was that?
Nina, Anna, Julia, Puma.
Puma?
What was it, Kuma?
Yes.
Fuck you.
It means bear.
Panda. That's what it was. I said Puma when I meant to say Kuma. Kuma, Panda, Mokujin, Yoshimitsu,
I'm pretty sure you
Eddie,
can name 20 Tekken.
Christy, Lay, Paul,
Uh-huh.
Law,
Uh-huh.
King, Armor King,
Okay.
Bake or Bake, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah.
Ganryu.
Okay. One more.
That wouldn't be 20. I have 4 more.
I know, but
Kazuya,
uh-huh.
Jin,
Yeah.
Devil. I got
I'll
you.
count it.
Oh, because I said Devil and Devil is technically Jin.
It's technically Kazuya, but
Oh, okay.
also
Well then,
a
okay.
Devil Jin. But I said I'll count it.
Gone.
But the
Gone.
main reason, the main reason I said you got one more character because I'm like, he hasn't said a single Mishima yet. That's just 3. If he gets to 17, he's definitely getting to it. And I said like early before you like, I'm like, yeah, you're going to get to 20. It was just one of those obnoxious name this, and rather than be like name 2 characters, it's like name 20.
You can't name all the Mortal Kombat characters. I'm joking.
I cannot.
Because I was gonna say you could.
Well, there's a lot of guest characters.
Oh, like fucking Freddy and Rambo and shit.
There was a time when that list was only like 58 people long that I could name all of them. But
How many fucking people is it now?
a lot, because the time that I used to take that quiz and do that and like grind knowing all the character names, MK9 hadn't come out yet. So there's been a whole trilogy of games since I know. So any new characters introduced in that, I know Kratos got introduced, or Kratos got to be a guest character. I hope he comes back in MK1.
How many Mortal Kombat characters are there?
Did you type?
According to
playable?
this, 77 playable fighters. So yeah, it's like a lot, but shit, 77. That's 19 more.
Yeah,
than 58.
and a lot of those, some of those are characters they added to the roster, just like actually new introduced characters, and some of those are the guest characters.
Who's your favorite MK character
Scorpion.
to play with, or just period?
A little of both. He's always going to be my go-to, like whenever I go into playing a game, even if I don't end up sticking with him by the end of it. It's been a long time since I've had a straight-up main in Mortal Kombat. I mean, the last tournament I entered was EVO 2019, and I had played the game so little that I tried to DQ myself from the bracket just to hurry up so I could watch like some of the top 8s. I tried to tell him to just DQ me. Because, all right, so 2019, I think I said this on a previous one. It was my first Evo. I went there. I was entered into 4 games. Soul Calibur 6, Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, and Mortal Kombat 11. I had signed up because I was trying to hurry up and get the tickets and reservations, and the second Evo went on sale that year. I had signed up for MK11 before the game even came out because I knew my personal rule that if an MK game comes out, I'm getting it. Or like main game. I've owned every Mortal Kombat. Same thing with Tekken. I've pretty much owned every game in the series at some point. Soul Calibur as well, for that matter. But
including tag tournament.
That's main games. I didn't do the Tekken tags. Main games though, I've owned at least.
Anyway,
at some point in my life. Anyway, but when I got to the tournament in Evo, because it's in Vegas, it's the biggest fighting game tournament in the world, I was like, I just don't want to be so embarrassed that I just go 0-2, which, because it's double elimination, you have to lose twice to be eliminated. I'm like, as long as I don't go 0-2 in every game I enter, if I can win one game off of anybody this weekend, in whatever game, I'm good. I ended up not practicing 11 at all. MK11. Soul Calibur and Street Fighter got the majority of my practice time. So, first game I had to enter was Soul Calibur. In warming up, because it was like the first pool of the day, in warming up, I played against some dude. We played like 4 or 5 games. I won like 4 to his 1 out of those. And then they're like, okay, get off the sets. We need people to sit down. All right, I need Feo Grande versus other dude. And I'm like, okay, I'm right here. And then I look, and my opponent is the dude I've just been sitting there beating. So I beat him and immediately met my goal for the weekend by going up 1-0 in the tournament.
I'm about to say, so you beat him and then got matched with him again to whoop his ass again?
No, but like we were playing casuals to warm up, but when it came time for our first fight, it was him.
So y'all were just playing around just to warm up, and then you get paired against. So you knew you were gonna win.
Yeah. So I ended up going 2-2 in Soul Calibur. Okay. And I was already like, well, shit. I already met my goal of not going 0-8 this weekend. So a lot less nerves.
That would feel like shit if you did that.
A lot less nerves as I went into Tekken. I went 1-2 in that. Street Fighter, I've been practicing Sakura for months leading up to it. Get to the tournament, first opponent picks like Karen or something, and I just instinctively pick Ken. And I win. Second match was against Allura, and it was on stream. And I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but I played poorly enough to where the commentators were pissed off despite the fact that I won. And they told me not to go back on there. And then I went and lost my next 2 games. But I went 2-2 in Street Fighter. It's the first time I didn't go 0-2 in Street Fighter anything. I usually always go winless in Street Fighter. It was my first time not going winless was there. So that was day 1, and I'm like, well, I already accomplished my goal. Day 2 of Evo, they had a lot of top 8s for some of the smaller games, and I just wanted to watch some Evo top 8s. And so I'm like, man, I haven't played Mortal Kombat since release week. I'm just going to tell them to DQ me from my pool. I went down there. I was like, hey, just drop me out. I'm trying to watch the thing. Dude's like, no. What?
You're going to make me play.
It's my decision. Which I could have just walked the fuck away anytime. But I was just like, what do you mean, no? You're already here.
That is weird, though. Like, hey, can you take me off of this? No, you got to play, bitch. Like,
no, he's just like, man, you're already here. You came all this way. Yeah, but I don't care. I ended up getting paired up against a Jap. Oh, no. My first round opponent ended up not showing up and getting DQ'd for not showing up. So
you wanted to get DQ'd. You wanted to get DQ'd, but then you got paired against somebody that got DQ'd.
But yeah, instead, I got a win in MK on the record books for that. So I didn't even
a bye, but still, that's true.
It's a win. it's me versus an opponent. That opponent DQ'd and moved on. That's not a bye. A bye is I'm sitting there and I ain't even got an opponent to fight.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts.
So 1 and 2. There you go. Because if I play him and he pauses mid-match, he gets DQ'd. That's
a
still not
DQ.
bye.
Yeah, you can't pause. You can't pause in the middle of a match, right? Because and it makes sense because your opponent doesn't know you're gonna do that, and they're like all ready to go. Then you stop the flow, then it starts again when they're not ready. It's like you throw off the whole flow of the match and my strategy and everything. So no, yeah, you can't do that shit. That's why a lot of times when you see people who are in big tournaments and like it's at the end and they like about to lose and they know they about to lose, they just hit start because it's like I got hardly any life left and you about to beat me here. Like that's yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, when you do the tournaments, you ain't got to sign up for nothing, do you? You just like you don't have to sign a paper. You just pay into it or what?
Sign-ups are mainly done online for the ones that I've been doing because I only really go to CEO and stuff, and I sign up online. Payments, done there. If I show up the day of, I would probably have to do at registration, give them the money or give them the payment for an entry badge. But there's not a lot of same day registration for the tournaments for those majors. If it's a
people want
smaller
to
one,
they want to secure their spots.
if it's a smaller one, then yeah, you can show up and say, "Hey, add me to this," and pay like when you come in a door fee. Like if it's a local or monthly or weekly or something like that. But the majors, they usually get that done online through a site like start.gg or something like that. And that site takes care of like putting you in the bracket and you can just look and see when, what time your pool is and all that shit. So a lot of that's done computer side.
Okay.
But there's 1,000 people going to CEO next week just for Street Fighter 6.
Damn. You know why?
Because it's new.
Yeah, and it's been so fucking long. I'm just talking shit.
Fun game, though.
But no, huh?
Fun game though.
What was I gonna say? No, I was just curious. The reason why I asked about do you have to sign up and all that is because not only you have to register, but I'm assuming you have to sign something that basically says we can put your likeness on.
Oh yeah.
Like our social medias and whatever platforms we feel like and all this shit.
Yeah, there's little disclaimer boxes and shit.
Yeah.
By clicking here, you agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. But hey, by clicking on our respective socials, hopefully you will agree to follow us and, have a good time. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and follow your boy, then anywhere you stream your music, I am a rapper. I go by the name of Super Jazz. So anywhere you stream your music, look up my debut solo album I dropped a few years ago called My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Super Jazz, My Secret Identity, since I'm not that famous yet. Also, you can go ahead and look me up on Twitter under the handle Super Jazz 2. That's Super Jazz. Oh, I'm sorry. Super Jazz is spelled SUPERJAZ. Go ahead and look me up on Twitter under the handle Super Jazz 2. So that's Super Jazz number 2. And of course, you can find and follow me on Instagram under the name Forever Super Jazz, the word forever spelled correctly. And by the time this goes up, especially seeing as how we're filming it because I've been so busy planning, by the time this goes up, it will be 2 days before the opening night of the first production of my new company, Aquarian Rising Productions. So go ahead and like Aquarian Rising Productions on Facebook. And if you happen to be in the St. Louis area, go ahead, the 16th, 17th, and 18th, 23rd, 24th, and 25th, Fridays and Saturdays at 8, Sundays at 2. Go to 51. Yep, it's this weekend is when it opens. 517 Theater Lane, also known as the Theater Guild of Webster Groves. $15 at the door. It's called A Colored Funeral. Come check your boy and some of my friends out. Where can they find you, man?
Well, y'all know y'all can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under Feo Grande. That is Feo Grande, all one word. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch. But before that, I have to tell you, on that channel of mine, I do have a show called This Guy Hasn't Seen that I do with a good friend of mine and good friend of the show, Bill Smith.
Shout out to Bill.
Indeed, indeed. I'm sure the feeling's mutual. I'm sure he shouts you out a lot in the episodes as well. So check those out. And yeah, I also have a Twitter and Twitch. That's Giotavi. That's Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. Lately, I've been playing Street Fighter 5, getting ready for CEO. Not 5, 6. Getting ready for CEO. I need to practice Guilty Gear and CVS 2 as well. Anyway, come check it out. I just kind of vibe, listen to music, and play fighting games. But yeah.
Did you say CVS 2?
Yes, I did. Capcom versus SNK 2, Millionaire Fighting 2001.
It came out in 2001?
Around that time. It might have came out in 2000 and been called 2001. I don't remember the exact date it came out. I didn't play it on release. It's one of the games I got into in college.
They missed the opportunity if it came out in 2000 and they didn't call it so 2000 because everything around that time was whatever 2000.
I don't know if CVS 1 came out was Millionaire Fight 2000.
Everything was whatever 2000.
And also it's Japan, so it might have came out in 2001. But yeah.
Anyway.
We called it Mark of the Millennium 2001 over here, even though the name already in English said Millionaire Fighting.
That being said, whether it be about the Nuggets and their victory, congratulations, ? Whether it be about concussions and movies attached to them, whether it be about fighting games and how much time it takes before the sequel comes out after. What are we going to talk about next time?
Whatever we want. There's no question mark. Congratulations.
Okay, the way you was talking, I was like, congrats.
I don't have to like it, but I said congratulations. I don't hate the players. I just hate the owner.
You could just say, I hate the game.
I don't. I like basketball.
But don't hate the play. Never mind. Be nice to yourself, everybody.
Adios.